So, hello everyone. This is the first ever episode of Fireside Chats, and today we have a special guest with us, and it is Alwin John from CE Chengannur, College of Engineering Chengannur, Alapura, and he's a fourth year CE student. And more about him uh, all throughout the episode. So, I did a basic introduction of you. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, first of all, thank you. Thank you for inviting me to this your channel. And uh, I believe it's your first podcast, and I really want to congratulate you. A little bit about me, as you already mentioned, I am currently in my final year, doing my bachelor's in computer science and engineering, and I'm mostly work in developing things, mostly into computer science things, computer science topics, tech field things, anything related to it, I can explain to. And I'm a Github Campus Expert also. We can talk about it later. I'm also a musician, a guitarist, by the way. Have been teaching computer science related topics as well as guitar musician stuff as well. I'm also keen to reading books. I have read many books regarding self-help and non-fiction types. You can see in my Goodreads. And what else? I do basically many things just as any uh, teenager want to do or they are tending to do. So yeah.
So that was an awesome introduction. So everyone, shout out to Dexters-Hub. That's his channel, and I'll be linking that in the description. And so the topic at hand is
Actually,
tech-related stuff.
it's my name. Actually, it's my name, Alwin John. I have renamed that. Dexters-Hub is
Oh,
my GitHub user profile. Also, it's my gamer tag. Shout out to
so
that.
okay, yes, shout out to that too. So the topic, the what we not talk about is basically tech and community, how to get involved in communities and all. So how do you start? How do you become interested in tech in general?
Hmm. In general, how did I end up in interested about tech? Yeah, it falls back into my younger days, even before my birth. Basically, we are three brothers actually. I have two older brothers, and before even I was born, my father brought a computer, a PC, from Dubai, for my brothers to learn much more into the academic aspects because it's education and PCs are relatively new at that time. It's basically around mm, 2000, 1990s and 2000. That's the range of it. And that was the time where in our village or uh, in my home place, there was no computer near any houses or any other nearby places. It was this my house. People often come here to get their music downloaded, movies downloaded from the torrents and copy DVD, CDs. You know that the old floppy disk type of thing. So yeah, it was all done by my two brothers. So initially in my hometown, every people or the neighbors all were uh, naming my brothers as computer legend geniuses, that type of thing, because these two were the only folks who know their thing. And by the time it tendentially grow, like as the time move forward, we got to learn more about the tech related thing, computer thing. Browsers came to reality, Google search engines, YouTube, and games. Oh, especially games. Okay, everything just boomed it out. And when I was at my around fourth grade, I guess, fourth grade or fifth grade, I was introduced to Prince of Persia. Yeah, It is a game. You may not know. You may know Assassin's Creed. It is based on Prince of Persia, actually, by Ubisoft. That was the actual game that I remember, and it was actually a cracked version, not the original version. Everything was cracked. All softwares was cracked based, and it was often get to the by the Digit magazine. You may not have heard of
Mm.
it. A Digit
Yeah,
magazine is
I know.
now
I'm
a
pretty
Digit.
old person.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So all the viewers may not know. Okay. Uh, in the Digit magazine, there were often come with the whole instruction board or a kit. Like there was a magazine, DVDs and CDs, and a lot of softwares were inside those CDs. And we tends to always run up the softwares, new latest editions. What is the latest information in tech in general? There was the Google was not up to date by them. It is up to date, but the general information was all through Digit magazines. And so, yeah, naturally, my environment was all related to tech. That's why I get related to tech interest, having to interest in that. And everything I know about everything in the tech related stuff, it's based on that environment, the environment that I grew up with. So, yeah, that that's the whole thing behind it.
So basically, you're saying that you were born into a tech family, like not
In a
not
tech
really,
family,
but
my
not really,
brothers.
but yeah,
The environment was somewhat like that.
yeah, a lot. Environment actually plays a lot in the tech industry, getting into
Yeah,
tech for newbies. So
as in
getting into
as
tech,
in yeah, as in me personally, I'm currently, as I mentioned in my introduction, I'm uh, into development, programming side, code of things. My brothers are currently working in the IT field. My elder brothers is a senior UX engineer, UX designer. Sorry. And my older brothers in Bangalore working in the IT field as well. And both were interested in computer science, but not into the development side of things. I was more into development. I learned programming languages during my high secondary. No. 10th, I guess. Like there was Python in our syllabus, HTML, CSS, but it was not actually my interest. It was in the syllabus, but I got interested in it, learning the languages because it was fun. I like fun stuff, so yeah.
so basically tinkering with stuff.
Yeah, tinkering with stuff.
You talked about how you got into technology, uh, how that environment mattered a lot. Uh, Come to that point, a lot of people don't get uh, that exposure to technology at a very early age. So, how do you propose they get into technology? What's your view on that? In our
Yeah.
college, a lot of
It,
people are actually scared of getting into technology and all. What's your view on that?
Technology is inevitable. In the future, everyone needs to be digitalized. Like you can see that uh, we have mobile phones. Everyone has mobile phones now these days. Everyone needs to be in contact. So the digital part is inevitable. So it is necessary to learn these digital skills. As we have seen that personal computers began to be used by everyone in corporate, in companies, schools, education, everything. So yeah, it is inevitable. You just need if you want to get into tech or digital skills, you just need an internet connection and a laptop. And if you want to learn new things, you just Google it away. Or if you have a mobile phone, also you don't need a personal computer for that. If you have a mobile phone, also there you could just Google it, learn the digital skills, marketing, anything related to it. You could just do that. It's a one step from our fingertips. So yeah.
So, and you basically we told in the introduction, we told you GitHub Campus Expert. So let's come to that. Uh, let's talk
Okay.
about community. Before going into
Okay.
GitHub Campus Expert, but let's talk about community.
Okay.
So,
What do
how
you
did
want to
you
ask
get
from the
introduced to
community part?
communities? Okay, how did
Oh
you get
yeah.
involved in communities?
Hmm. It's pretty much from my college days. It's all began from first year. As I mentioned in the introduction, I'm currently pursuing my bachelor's in computer science and engineering. And as Vishwanath introduced that, I'm currently studying at College of Engineering Chengannur, that is in Alapura. And from my first year, uh, our college is blessed with a lot of communities that is founded by that is created by our seniors. Mm, so I was introduced from that from my first year itself. There is a community, not a community. Yeah, it's a community. Uh, it is FOSSES, a forum for computer science and engineering students. Before that, there was an IEEE that is still famous throughout the world. That is the first organization that I was introduced to when I got into admission to the college. It was introduced by so many times, even before I got admission to that college. So it was somewhat intriguing. I was curious about it. And I really love the fact that it is all around the world. It has to be backed up by something. So I was curious about it. And during the orientations, I learned that there are many forums and communities in our college. If there aren't any communities or organizations or any type of groups or clubs in your college or any other colleges, it doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be reside in that college itself. It can be outside of the college as well. I do, as I said earlier, in my first year, there was an orientation session, and a lot of communities were giving us the orientation that is there are certain communities in there like IEEE, Forces, Product, and what NSS. It can be anything. It's not in tech space itself. NSS, NCC, and health club, music club. I was pretty much keen into music club. Yeah, you will get a picture about engineering like college. You have to get into a band, perform in a band, have a engineering. You have seen that
It's
uh,
kind of college dream.
the college dream. So I was pretty much having that scene in my mind at that time. So I was interested to that because in high secondary and my high school, I wasn't as much as active that I'm currently done in my 4 years. Uh, so I was hyped up for in my college. I want to do everything. I want to be in every club, uh, and I still uh, remember the first session that I attended at the IEEE and Forces. It was introduction to Git. It was introduction to Git. I have heard about Git and C programming, but that was the actual first time that I have seen the usage of it. Because there are many tools and technologies in the industries, and I didn't uh, knew that this a simple tool like Git have so much potential. VS Code, C programming had a lot of influences in the current tech industry as well. And I was introduced to that by these communities itself. Even though these are basic skills, basic knowledge. So yeah, I was introduced to that from my first year, and from time itself, COVID happened. In second sem, then COVID happened. I got introduced to online communities. Uh, YouTube was a community. Basically, like there was a YouTube channel where many students watch watch a video of someone, and there is a community behind it. I was mostly into what cracking the fang job type of mindset. Like I know basic, I know Git, I know the essential Git, I know C program, I will crack fang. That was the mindset. You know, everyone has it. So as that time grew, I learned that typing is an essential skill, and Google. I learned from the early time in my second sem. So during COVID, I practiced about 50 minutes every day just to typing things, improving my typing. Not only that, I found out that it is a compounding. It had a compounding effect because as we type faster, we Google things faster. As we Google things faster, we learn. Read a lot. As we read a lot, we gain new information. It is a compounding effect. You get that. So I learned that. Uh, by the time I got to introduce to many other for communities and forums like Hub, GTech, and MLH, Major League Hacking. If you don't know, that community was there. Discord channels were there, and yeah, by the time I knew, I was almost surrounded by communities in the online world and the offline world. So yeah, and I found that interesting because I like curious things, and the community had a curious people trying to solve, having a shared struggle because I want to be a greater version of myself, and everyone in the community also want that. They want to solve a particular problem. They want to improve upon themselves and learn new skills or do something that helps them to improve. So it is everything is based on a struggle, shared struggle, and that is the foundation of any community. As the orientation that is given by in my first year, they were also helping us to overcome that struggle. Like there is an information gap. Students need to understand this. Students should know this kind of things because they will eventually get stuck by these technologies or the new information. So yeah, that that is pretty much I was introduced to communities, and I'm still being part of the communities. And spoiler alert, I was mm, in all, I was almost hopped into one community, jumped to another community, contributing that, and again jumping to another community in our college and jumping to that, contributing to that, and I was seen everywhere. Even students were shocked by how did I manage all this? When did you sleep or anything like that? So it was somewhat uh, what you can say. Uh, I don't know. It just happened.
So that was exactly my next question. How do you manage all these communities?
There was no managing because you can't manage anything because the time is going. The time is always going. It is always moving forward. What you can do is how you can uh, what take that particular moment and decide on something. It's based on prioritization. If you have something to do, you have to prioritize something and do it. Easier said than done. It is pretty much. It can be daunting. But once you get the prioritization thing, let me give you an example. An example gives you a better view of that. If my task is to, let's say, read a book within a week, you could say that it is achievable. What I want to do is in a day, I want to read at least an hour. That was my only goal at that one particular day. Okay, that is there. And I have another thing to do. Like I want to improve my typing skills. Okay, let's take that. I have already mentioned the typing thing. I want to do 15 minutes of that. And it will always depend on the environment because as the famous book by James Clear, The Atomic Habits, clearly mentions that if you want to do something, it will always be dependent on the environment and the actual action that determines it. I won't reveal all the secrets. You can read the book itself, Atomic Habits. It's a great book. But it's all, I want to get the gist out of it. It's all about environment. You have to create that environment. And to do the typing thing, the 15 minutes of typing thing, I already set up that. I will already be set up that, like opening the tab. Typing contest tab will be there. Typing lessons will be there. Example, typing bolt website. It's a direct typing service that anyone can do. There's no login or sign up, anything. It's a direct service. So I will open that. It's simple. It wouldn't take 10 seconds to open that. So it is achievable. So if you get that mindset, something like it is easy. If something is, we are lazy persons. Yeah, we are lazy person as humans. So we always look for the easy task first. So we open that. We will open that website and do the task. If I want to read the book in an hour, I will play somewhere the book where I often see the book. Actually, if I want to place it in nearby in my laptop, I will read it because it is. I always sit on my laptop or table. I will see that book. Or if I want to get that book somewhere out of the room, I won't read it. Another example I could give, as I mentioned, I'm a guitarist. I always place my guitar nearby my bed. Why it is, before going to bed, I always pick up the guitar, play a song, and go to sleep. It is a natural thing to do because I see a guitar, so let's play a little bit of jamming or any song. It's natural. So any task should be natural and fun. It shouldn't bother you. It shouldn't. It's all about what user experience. It's all connected, so I couldn't get it.
Just
So
I guess I've read it somewhere, like how
yeah,
to start something, you got to make the first step as easy as possible.
yeah.
You got to
It
get
is.
rid of the inertia.
It's clearly mentioned the atomic habits, the resistance part, easy achievable part, environment part. You should definitely read the atomic habits. The viewers, I mean. I
So how did GitHub Campus Expert happen?
That's a long story, actually. Story I could shorten a little bit. Uh,
Okay.
so, as I mentioned earlier, I was into communities. Uh, I was curious about communities. I like to do tech-related stuffs, development stuffs, the people behind it. Everyone was curious about new things, new technologies and stuff. And I was also choosing what I had to do in my life because there were so many options. You could either be in tech aspects. I won't say in another title or thing. I want to do development. I was confused whether I should go to backend or front end, or whether should I go into app development or game development, or should I be learning machine learning because it was hard that time, or someone said that there was crypto going on, or should I do that? Should I do that? So it was so many choices and confusions. But I tend to got rid of that notion because during my fourth sem, no, yearly wise 2021. 2021. Yeah, in 2020, not 2021 or 2022. Yeah, 2020 December. Yeah, I clearly remember that. In 2022, 2020 December, I got started to into uh, app development by our senior. It was Flutter application. It is a mobile application that was done as part of the product organization in our college, and it is an app for uh, sharing the informations and the current events that are happening in the college. Not only that, it also corresponds the informations about the our faculty rooms, because our uh, college building was circular and it was often confusing where the faculty room is. So we put a label on that, the room number and all the information in the app. So it tends to help students to navigate better. So that was the product, and it was already in the app store. What the task that was handled by me by our senior is that there's a new update, and the 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 features that I mentioned, like the rooms and faculty details and notifications, all the tasks were given to me, and other team members as well. We were of 5 people. I didn't know Flutter. I didn't even started learning that, but it was interesting. It is a real project. It is already in the Google Play Store, and I thought, why not give it a try? I thought I could learn Flutter in about 1 or 2 hours. No, it took a week, but at least it took a week. I was happy about that. I learned Flutter, and it was pretty much interesting because it's a UI development kit. You could see the results, and I loved creating user interfaces. It was something more there. I could visually see that and get um, feedbacks as soon as possible, and it was interesting. And I loved the way Flutter organized things, the code structure and all the things. And it was something around Flutter uh, was getting recently updates, weekly updates and such, and the updates were often crashes the app's code because some of them will deprecated, and we would often update the code. Yeah, but it was interesting. And coming to that, while I learned these development skills, learn the app development skills, I tried to get into web development as well, because I liked the way the user interface was created in Flutter. And I thought it would be similar that this in the web development infrastructure as well. And I was right. It was clearly the same, because the user interface was done by CSS, HTML, and JavaScript. But the core fundamental behind it was the same. Like user interface, user experience has to be made. It should be usable by any users as such, and it should have an accessibility to anyone. If there are students using it or any older person using it, it should be accessible to everyone. So accessibility played a crucial role there, and I loved the technologies and tools by the time I got really into it. And by the time a year gone by, it was starting of 2022, and pretty much I was all confident about my skills. I have web development and app development cracked. I know React JS, Next.js, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. What app development using Flutter, Dart, Git and GitHub, and all the other necessary things. Visual Studio Code. Oh, Visual Studio Code. You have to clearly mention that. Uh, so I was very confident in that. Little did I know I was very weak in my problem solving skills. DSA, the most uh, what DSA is a term that is used and still used by the tech field that is a very difficult task to do or a difficult thing to master. And I taken up a challenge that in 2022 I will crack DSA. I will I will for dunga. That kind of mindset was that. And I started lead coding. That was the first time I was into lead code. I have done two questions in January first week. Then I closed that. I haven't picked it up in a month. All gone. The motivation was gone. Everything was gone. And February came, and I was furious that I have not done my New Year resolution. I am not able to put my mind to it. I was very curious, very furious about that. And it come to my mind that again I read the books once again to feel better with myself, not being depressed of myself. I reread the books because it gives me motivation that the self-help books made me motivate that you are able to do this, you can crack this, that kind of mindset. Uh, it is all true, though. I'm not exaggerating. It's all true. That was the mindset. That was the initial thought I had. And I again read the Atomic Habits book, and there is a notion that if you want to do a certain task that is harder, make it combined with another task that is somewhat fun or easy to do. You could combine that, and I had to find a way that I can do DSA and make my journey as fun as possible. And the idea that I got was mind blowing. That in tech field, all the technology discussions, news updates is all done in Twitter. I was not into Twitter at that time. So I decided to just take up my Twitter account, and I already created the Twitter account a year before that, but I didn't give it a time because I didn't understood Twitter. It was somewhat confusing. You will get an 160 characters limit, and you could just message that. I didn't understand that like that. And I later I understand that Twitter is the whole hub for tech communities or tech people. I started doing that. I started tweeting. That that was my first tip. Motivation sucks. What you need is discipline. uh, that was my initial tweet, and I started with my DSA from that day onwards. That was February 6th. I still remember the date. I started doing my DSA preparation. I take up on the 100 days of code challenge as well, and it was fun. And it clearly paved up a way to the confidence that I had to get, because all seniors, my friends and colleagues, all supported me on this initiative, because I haven't seen anyone in my college do this kind of challenge, and it was a new eye opening for me, because these challenges that I've done is for my own benefit, for my own upskilling, and it helped a lot of people to get into this. When I started out, other my friends also came to the challenge and doing with me, and we completed the 100 days of code challenge. And during that period, February, not that month, GitHub Campus Expert application open. Okay, and during my first year, I already knew about the GitHub Campus Expert application. I didn't know what was that thing actually is for. I applied 3 to 4 times during the years, because it opened twice a year. That is the February and the August part. And during the 3 times attempt, I learned that it's all about communication, what problem that you are trying to solve, and just talking genuinely the truth, not lying to yourself, not exaggerating yourself, just telling that, yeah, this is the problem that I have seen. I want to solve this. Could you help me? I want to be a part of this community. I really love the way uh, you will get that, because once you attempt it 3 times, you will get the notion that something is really wrong. In my each attempts, I learned new things. In my first attempt, I just copy pasted the answer and put the application, send the application. It got rejected immediately, and I understood that it should be genuine. Second, I applied. I learned that I need the skills, the necessary skills. That is, I need to learn what is community, what is the tech industry is currently facing, what is open source, Git and GitHub, that of kind. But it is not necessary though. I later understand that. But I had thought that was necessary, so I learned those things. In my third attempt, my English was so poor that the application got rejected. I still remember reading the third attempt paragraphs. I was so because it was so messed up. Now, in my fourth attempt, the February part, that I was doing my challenge, and the application also opened. I really put into my work, gave 3 to 4 days a time to fill up the application, used Grammarly a lot to fix up my grammar and such, and clearly answered the questions that was mentioned there, and sent it away. And it was the results came around the next month that I was passed around the first round, and the second round was even harder. I had to do a 5-minute video resume on English, speaking English, and answering the questions and answers. And it was so frustrating because I was still not confident in my speaking abilities. But I made sure that I won't give up this uh, chance, and started recording myself 300 takes, and uh, answering each questions until I made it somewhat okayish, perfectish, and joined up, edited up, and made a 5-minute video and sent it. And it is still uploaded in my YouTube channel. And with that, they really liked my video resume. I hope I still thought so. Now, if I see the video resume now, I think it is still pretty much broken. And you could see that the speaking that I currently doing is still broken up. I have still a long way to go. And with that, I was accepted into the Github Campus Expert program. I have done training. There was a 4 months training, and it is pretty much waved up a whole new door for me into the community aspect, because the people inside there was so amazing. Because there was another thing. I was the only one to be selected in 2022 from Kerala. That is, 65 campus experts were selected from 28 countries in 2022 in February cohort, and I was the only one from Kerala to be selected among those 65 members. And it was so, but I couldn't exaggerate the feeling because it was a wholesome feel. I was really proud and was scared also, because it was something so much heavily responsible thing to do, and I really gave a pat of my back, like, you have done it, and you have a lot of more way to go. And yeah, that's how I became a Github Campus Expert, and currently focusing on building inclusive and tech-related community to build and give support to students that are need these kind of supports, because there are a lot of digital gap and technical gap in the communities, tech-related communities to the students. And as a Github Campus Experts, a student, it is we are a student leaders that helps other students to get that uh, help in regarding to upskilling themselves. So yeah, that's pretty much. I get to be a Github Campus expert and talking. Yeah.
So how was the life after being GitHub Campus Expert? What kind of opportunities did it lead?
Yeah. Even before I was officially officially been the title Github Campus Expert was officially given to me. I got invited to a panel list because a panelist discussion in Kerala Startup Mission. It was I was invited. It was the first time I was invited to anything outside because I have done my contributing or um, what teachings, webinar sessions, workshops, helping the community inside. During the COVID time, I was doing online and everything was related to campus events. And it was the first time I was invited to something outside in my comfort zone. So it was way before. It was before I was officially being to campus expert. I was selected in the second round, the video resume part. That month before the official and the selected part, that was the time I was invited to that panel discussion, and really gave an uh, whole new opportunities because I got to meet. It was also done by Tinga Foundation. I forgot to mention that Tinga Foundation. I was invited to the panelist discussion. We were 4 people, and it was a discussion on the community related stuff. How uh, many people, student leaders, come to their life as an individual, sharing these stories. I shared this story itself. Not the exact way, of course. Uh, each time I do this story, I sometimes forgot the part that was interesting, and sometimes I just go blabbering myself about this. I have no way of controlling this. So I was invited to that, talked about that, and later I was invited to hackathons as a mentor as well. I got to able to sponsor with the help of GitHub, supporting events such as a defined hackathon, the Force Hack 3.0 that was done in Bangalore, and you were there. Also, uh, what other ones are Techno Hack and campus events. But it was all done in my final year, and I got to be a Kita campus expert a year. This month is April, so yeah, uh, I've been a Gita campus expert for a year, and I will be ended with this tenure after I graduate. So I really love the time of this 1 year. It really helped paved my thinking aspects, the community related aspects, the whole development journey as well, the things that I've seen. Uh, because in tech, everything is there. You just have to look for it and get down to the what necessities that the industry is demanding. Because you can crack the industry because nobody knows what they are doing. It's a fact. Nobody knows what they are doing. The hiring is happening, recession is happening. A lot of folks were into crypto. Now it is cancelled out by OpenAI, ChatGPT came up, and nobody. And I still believe nobody's know what they are doing. Me, myself included. I don't know what I'm talking about, and it doesn't matter. Since I got that notion, you will get uh, a perspective about what you can do, what you are the abilities that you have, and you can still upskill yourself doing that. I know it's pretty much uh, what it has a certain perspective to it, and it is confusing. But I can simply put that uh, like you have the learning stuffs uh, in the current industry. You can just Google it away, and you have the time. You are just lazy. You are just not keeping your mind to it, and you could just change that by creating your own environment and upskilling yourself. By upskilling yourself, I mean getting easier things done first, clearing those tasks as fast as soon as possible. It's like going to the gym. Even though gym is actually good for us, we often don't go there and do the gym thing. Uh, but it will clearly help us be healthy and be productive as well. It's the same concept. I know it is hard and uh, pretty much daunting to get up and do the reps. It is painful and other things, but it is somewhat easier in tech. You don't have to go to the hard and pain stuff like the in the gym part. So you have to give it some time to it. Yeah.
So talking about time, so you probably know what the next question is, right? How do you manage time along with academics and all the other stuff? How do you do that?
Academics. That's a question a lot of people talk to me. I maintain a certain balance. You have to keep up your arrears into check. I have no arrears in my arrears in backlogs uh, in my academics because I tend to keep a balance because I know academics is important because I am doing my computer science and engineering degree, and it is important for me. And if you get that notion into your head, like something is important for me and tech is also important for me and you have to do community is important for me, ha, why not? You will try to do everything, do what we can say. Somewhat, there's a terminology behind it. Uh, Doing multiple things at a time. I don't remember it. So what I do is I keep a time. I don't want to say time. I keep a notion into my head that I want to do studies before my exam because I want to clear my exam, and I want to attend these topics because I want to learn those topics since it is my uh, core subject, or even though if it is not the core subject, I still want to learn those topics because I want to pass the subject or pass the whole degree. And I always studies before the exam time. No, and attend. I always attend classes because I don't want to get my attendance shortage or anything like that. There is a 75% attendance. You already know that, and I wouldn't miss a class because I don't go. If students or teachers are hearing this, sorry, man. Uh, because the videos I will share to teachers, they will often see this and tell me stuff. So sorry. I often don't attend classes for the classes itself. I want to be with my friends, the community. I want to spend time with them. I want to help in them in some way because uh, it's not all about me because everyone has their own perspective of doing things, and I want to help them to get there faster. It's not like that I'm putting all my time to for them because eventually they had to give their time for themselves because it's their life or it's their own uh, way of doing things. I just want to support that, and I surely give time to that by attending the boring classes, not boring classes. There are some interesting classes. So I maintain my attendance and do the tech community things. And I always come back to my home and read articles because, as I mentioned in the introduction part itself, it's all about environment. I kept my daily usage apps such as LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube, even browser new tabs, Gmail, such as I won't get too distracted in something like cat videos, dog videos, or motivational stuff. I want to get something that I could benefit from it or learn from it, even though I'm not actually want to learn it. It is somewhat. If I could give you an example. I have a daily dev extension. Daily.dev is an company which provides this extension like blog articles, latest blog articles in your current homepage of your browser, and it somewhat helped me. Not somewhat, it really helped me in regarding information, the current trends in technical aspects or technical industry, what you can terminologize in any way. And this is the daily that they also give me a tracks for it because I've been part of them about 2 years, 2.5 years. They
So the
have given me
back to
tracks. Yeah, the back to there is kept it there. So yeah, it's all about building an environment for yourself. In my Instagram feed, it is all about not somewhat is motivation. I wouldn't say motivations is all required, but in some life it is necessary. In some life you have to reflect yourself. You have to say to yourself that something is wrong. You have to pause, rest, give a rest. Don't overdo it. Drink plenty of water, and just give it a try in the next day. So uh, during my Campus Expert application, I failed 3 times. It doesn't mean that I wouldn't try the fourth time, but I was depressed each time I got. Not depressed. I was sad. I was sad that I got rejected, but it didn't stop me to apply again. That's how I manage my time during the academics and the technical aspects, community aspects. That is, you have to build an environment for it. Yeah.
so we have crossed 50 minutes. When I talked to you
Okay.
earlier, I told you it's like it's gonna be tops 30 minutes, like the
Yeah,
podcast is at maximum it's gonna take 40 minutes.
it's
So
somewhat good because you can
you
edit
can't
it
cut short.
later. Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Okay.
So, one final question, like just gonna end it all. Uh,
Okay.
so, what do you think about the opportunities? There are a lot of opportunities around us. Like apart from not talking about GitHub Campus Expert only, there are a lot other opportunities. Uh, People are not aware of them.
Hmm.
Um, what were some of the opportunities that you really missed, so that
Hmm.
a lot others couldn't miss it? Something that you are aware of.
Yeah, there are a lot of opportunities that is especially for women in tech and in general open source opportunities as well. Uh, and there are a lot of opportunities like creating your own community based on some other programs. I could name a few. Uh, there is something like GDSC, Google Developer Student Club, that I had applied during my second year, and I didn't get into it because at that time my English was so poor and I didn't have my skills also. Uh, that video is still there in my YouTube channel. Uh, so yeah, GDSC. Another is MLS fellowship. I got to apply twice. Then second time I got around the interview part, but I wasn't a Github Campus Expert by then, and I did poorly in my interview. So I was aware about that too. MLS fellowship is there, and GSOC is something that I was terrified about because I didn't understand the process. It was somewhat hard because there was a proposal to be written, and I didn't want to do it. It was so hard. There is that. GSOC is especially good if you want to get an industry exposure. That is a Google program, Google Summer of Code program, and it is opened every year. There is something similar that there is a Google Summer of Doc, GDoc. I don't know how to say that. Google Summer of Doc, GSOD, I guess. GSOD. There is that. Another is Linux Foundation open source program, CNCF program, fellowship programs, LN. There are
LFX.
many LFX mentorship program. Yeah, there are so many opportunities in regarding open source. There is also outreach, Google Script, Google Script, Girl Script. Okay, Girl Script. That it is actually also for all. It's not just for a woman entirely. Uh, Winter code hackathons. I want to do so many hackathons as well because hackathons is always happening by MLS. So you have to do that as well because it clearly help you in learning about hackathons very well because each day there is a hackathon by MLS hackathon and it is done on offline and online as well. Other programs I could say, no, there are Twitter club as well, Microsoft, not Microsoft, MLSA program. Oh, I could clearly forget that. MLSA, sorry, Satya. Satya is my friend. He's a gold student,
Student
Microsoft
ambassador.
Learn Student Ambassador. It's a gold tire. So, sorry, Satya. Sorry that I forgot you. So, MLSA program is there. There is also Twitter program. Then Github Campus Expert program is there. There is also a Google program for women, especially that is I don't know what was the name. Woman, I don't know. It was something related to. It starts with woman. I know that. Women Tech Makers. Oh, okay. Women Tech Makers. That is the name of the program. So there is that, and there are so many programs that you could get involved into, and it's all written in blogs, hash node. You can visit hash node, blogging site, dev.to blogging site, hacker news, no, Medium, LinkedIn, Twitter. You could search into that as well. Yeah, opportunities are there. So, yeah, these are some of the few programs that I remember.
Okay, that's a
So,
lot to remember. That was awesome. I I literally could never count that much on top of my head.
yeah, because I always share these opportunities to my friends in my campus, second year juniors, students, and other students in other colleges, campus, and in North Indian as well. So it's there in my tip of my tongue. So
So uh, I promise it'd be the last question. So keeping my promise, that was it.
okay,
So
okay.
anything else you might want to add, like a punchline to
Hmm.
the end?
Uh, I want to say that the Same tweet that I tweeted. Motivation sucks. You just have to be disciplined. Yeah, that pretty much sums it all up. The whole journey. Motivation sucks, really sucks. You have to be disciplined about something. You have to be disciplined about any task that you have to do. It's not in task itself. It's in each day routine, like making your bed, cleaning your environment, working environment, actually washing your clothes. It's a task. It's you have to be disciplined.
So
So yeah,
yeah, that was all. So thank you everyone for listening this much, and thank you Alan for being part of this fireside chat, for being first guest of fireside chat. Thanks a lot.
okay. Okay. Thank you, Vishwanath, so, for inviting me, and I had a great time. I really had a great time.
That was awesome to hearing all those things from you. So that's it, everyone. Signing off.
Peace.